Welcome to a journey to discover the most majestic natural wonders of the Philippines, an archipelago of more than 7,640 islands scattered like emeralds across the crystal-clear waters of Southeast Asia. The Philippines sits strategically in the western Pacific Ocean, bordered by the South China Sea to the west and the Philippine Sea to the east. This unique position has shaped not only its stunning geography, but also its rich cultural heritage, a beautiful fusion of indigenous traditions, Spanish colonial influence, American historical ties, and dynamic modern Asian culture. From the bustling metropolis of Manila, with its Spanish-era churches and gleaming skyscrapers, to the remote mountain villages, where ancient traditions still thrive, every corner of this nation tells a story of resilience, beauty, and boundless hospitality. But here's what I want you to consider as we begin this journey together. What is it about certain places that capture our hearts so completely that they change us forever? Is it the raw natural beauty, the warmth of the people, or perhaps that indescribable feeling of discovering something truly magical? Before we get started on our adventure, be sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't want to miss out on the amazing destinations we'll be exploring together. And don't forget to check out the links in the description below for exclusive deals on flights and accommodations, making this virtual journey your next real-life adventure. Now, let's explore the best places to visit in the Philippines. El Nido, Palawans. El Nido, located at the northern tip of Palawan Island. Picture this, you're gliding across mirror-like waters in a traditional banca boat, surrounded by towering limestone karsts that seem to pierce the sky itself. These ancient geological formations, some reaching heights of over 200 meters, create a natural fortress around hidden lagoons and secret beaches that feel like they've been untouched since the dawn of time. El Nido sits within the Dumaguete archipelago, comprising 45 islands and islets scattered across approximately 96,000 hectares of land and sea. The area forms part of the larger Palawan Island, often called the last frontier of the Philippines due to its pristine wilderness and incredible biodiversity. El Nido is woven from the threads of the indigenous Tagbanua people who have been the guardians of these islands for centuries. Their deep spiritual connection to the land and sea has helped preserve the area's natural beauty. The name, El Nido itself, comes from the Spanish term for the nest, referring to the edible birds' nests harvested from the limestone cliffs, nests made by swiftlets that were once more valuable than gold in Chinese medicine and cuisine. The modern development of El Nido as a tourism destination began in the 1980s when environmentalists and early adventure travelers recognized its extraordinary potential. However, it wasn't until the establishment of the El Nido Tete Managed Resource Protected Area in 1991 that sustainable tourism truly took root, balancing conservation with economic opportunity for local communities. Among El Nido's most famous destinations, the Big Lagoon stands as perhaps the most iconic. Imagine kayaking through a narrow entrance between towering cliffs to emerge into a cathedral-like lagoon where the water is so clear you can see tropical fish swimming 20 feet below. The small lagoon offers an even more intimate experience, where you literally swim through a keyhole opening in the limestone to enter a hidden world of emerald waters. Secret Lagoon lives up to its name, accessible only by swimming through an underwater tunnel. It rewards the adventurous with a private beach surrounded by vertical cliffs. And then there's Shimizu Island, where powdery white sand meets water so blue it seems artificial, perfect for snorkeling among vibrant coral gardens. El Nido represents more than just stunning scenery. It's a testament to how responsible tourism can protect paradise while providing livelihoods for local communities. The strict environmental regulations, limited development, and emphasis on sustainable practices ensure that future generations will inherit the same pristine beauty we see today. Manila. Manila, a sprawling metropolis where 500 years of history collide with the energy of modern Asia. This isn't just a city, it's a living museum, a cultural melting pot, and a testament to the Filipino spirit's incredible resilience. Manila sits on the eastern shores of Manila Bay on the island of Luzon. The city proper covers just 42.88 square kilometers, making it one of the world's most densely populated cities, yet it serves as the nucleus of Metro Manila, a massive urban area home to over 13 million people. The Pasig River winds through the city like a lifeline, connecting Manila Bay to Laguna de Bay and serving as both a transportation artery and a symbol of the city's enduring connection to water. Manila's cultural identity is perhaps the most complex in all of Asia. Originally inhabited by the Raja Suleiman and his Tagalog kingdom, the city became the western terminus of the Spanish galleon trade that connected Asia to the Americas for over 250 years. This made Manila one of the world's first truly global cities, where Chinese silk, Mexican silver, and European goods all flowed through its ports. The American colonial period brought English education and democratic ideals, while World War II and the brutal Battle of Manila in 1945 tested the city's spirit like never before. The development of modern Manila began with its designation as the capital of the newly independent Republic of the Philippines in 1946. From the ruins of war rose a city determined to embrace both its heritage and its future. The construction of Makati's business district in the 1960s marked the beginning of Manila's transformation into a modern Asian metropolis, while efforts to preserve historic Intramuros ensured that the city's Spanish colonial heart would beat on. Among Manila's famous destinations, Intramuros stands as the crown jewel, a perfectly preserved 16th-century walled city where horse-drawn carriages still clip-clop over cobblestones past churches that have witnessed 5 centuries of history. Fort Santiago, where national hero José Rizal spent his final days before execution, offers a poignant reminder of the Philippines' struggle for independence. Rizal Park, stretching 140 acres in the heart of the city, provides a green sanctuary where families gather for picnics, while monuments honor the nation's heroes. The cultural districts tell their own stories. Binondo, the world's oldest Chinatown, where the scent of dim sum mingles with the smoke of incense from ancient temples. Maylet, where art galleries and jazz clubs keep Manila's bohemian spirit alive. And the gleaming towers of Makati and Bonifacio Global City, where multinational corporations and luxury malls represent the Philippines' growing economic power. Manila teaches us that a city's true wealth lies not in its buildings, but in its people's ability to honor the past while building the future. The warmth of Filipino hospitality, the creativity of local artists, and the resilience shown through centuries of challenges make Manila a city that captures hearts as surely as it tells stories. Cebu City. Cebu City, proudly known as the Queen City of the South and the oldest city in the Philippines, If Manila represents the political heart of the nation, then Cebu is its cultural soul, a place where East truly meets West, where ancient traditions blend seamlessly with modern innovation, and where the story of the Philippines as we know it first began. Cebu City sits on the eastern coast of Cebu Island, right at the center of the Visayas region. This strategic location in the heart of the Philippine archipelago has made Cebu a natural crossroads for trade, culture, and commerce for over 500 years. The city is surrounded by a natural harbor that provided safe anchorage for centuries of traders, from Chinese merchants to Spanish galleons to modern cargo ships that make Cebu the second largest port in the Philippines. This is where Ferdinand Magellan first planted the Spanish flag on Philippine soil in 1521, beginning a colonial period that would reshape the entire archipelago. More importantly for Filipinos, this is where Lapu-Lapu, a local chieftain, became the first Filipino hero by defeating Magellan in the Battle of Mactan, proving that the Filipino spirit of independence was alive from the very beginning. The introduction of Christianity through the Santo Niño, Holy Child Jesus, created a unique Filipino Catholic tradition that blends indigenous beliefs with Spanish religious practices. Cebu's development as the Queen City began with its establishment as the first Spanish settlement in 1565. For centuries, it served as the southern capital of the Spanish Philippines, developing its own distinct identity separate from Manila. The city's strategic importance continued through American occupation and into the modern era, when it emerged as the Philippines' second-largest economic center, earning the nickname Queen City of the South. Among Cebu's most famous destinations, Magellan's Cross stands as ground zero of Philippine Christianity. Here, in 1521, the first Filipino converts were baptized under a cross that still stands today, protected within a larger cross structure. The nearby Basilica del Santo Niño houses the oldest Catholic relic in the Philippines, a statue of the Santo Niño given by Magellan to Queen Juana, which miraculously survived the burning of Cebu and is now considered miraculous by millions of devotees. Fort San Pedro, a triangular military defense structure built by Spanish colonizers, offers a glimpse into colonial military architecture while providing panoramic views of the modern city skyline. The Heritage Monument, a massive sculptural tableau, tells the story of Cebu from pre-Spanish times to the modern era in stunning detail. For those seeking natural beauty alongside history, the Temple of Lee offers breathtaking city views from its Roman-inspired architecture, while the nearby Siargao flower garden blooms with colorful celosia flowers that create a rainbow carpet across the mountainside. Cebu City reminds us that history isn't just about the past. It's about how the past shapes who we are today. The blend of indigenous, Spanish, and modern influences creates a uniquely Filipino identity that celebrates both tradition and progress. Siargao. Siargao Island, a teardrop-shaped paradise in the Philippine Sea that has become synonymous with world-class surfing, laid-back island vibes, and some of the most Instagram-worthy landscapes you'll ever encounter. But Siargao is so much more than just a surfer's paradise. It's a place where time seems to slow down, where coconut palms sway to their own rhythm, and where the ocean calls to adventurers from around the globe. Siargao sits in the province of Surigao del Norte, approximately 800 kilometers southeast of Manila. This 437 square kilometer island is the largest in Surigao del Norte and forms part of a group of islands that includes Bucas Grand, Daku, and numerous smaller islets. The island's unique teardrop shape and its position directly facing the Pacific Ocean create the perfect conditions for the powerful swells that have made it a mecca for surfers worldwide. The culture of Siargao is beautifully uncomplicated, rooted in the simple rhythms of island life. The local population, primarily of Surigaonan ethnicity, has traditionally lived from fishing, farming, and coconut cultivation. The island's name itself comes from the local word Siargao, meaning to peer over, possibly referring to the way early inhabitants watched the horizon for incoming weather or visitors. This culture of watching, waiting, and living in harmony with natural cycles continues to define Siargao today. The development of Siargao as a world-renowned destination began in the late 1980s when American surfer Max Walker discovered the incredible right-hand barrel break at Cloud 9. Word spread slowly through the global surfing community, and by the 1990s, Siargao was hosting international surfing competitions. However, the island managed to maintain its authentic character even as tourism grew, largely because the local community embraced sustainable development that preserved both their traditional way of life and the natural environment. Among Siargao's famous destinations, Cloud 9 stands as the undisputed star, a reef break that produces some of the most perfect barrel waves in the world. The wave breaks over a shallow coral reef, creating tubes that expert surfers describe as getting barreled in paradise. Even if you don't surf, watching the sunrise from the Cloud9 boardwalk as waves crash below is a spiritual experience. But Siargao offers far more than world-class waves. The Sagada Lagoon, accessible by a scenic boat ride through mangrove channels, rewards visitors with crystal-clear waters perfect for kayaking, paddleboarding, or simply floating while surrounded by lush tropical vegetation. Magpupunko rock pools reveal themselves at low tide, creating natural swimming pools carved into the coral rock, where you can splash in warm tidal pools while waves crash dramatically nearby. The island-hopping tour to Naked Island, Daku Island, and Gayam Island showcase three distinctly different island experiences. Naked Island is literally a sandbar that appears and disappears with the tides. Daku Island offers traditional Filipino island cuisine under coconut palms, and tiny Gayam Island provides the perfect tropical island fantasy with its ring of white sand around a small patch of palm trees. Siargao teaches us that paradise isn't about luxury resorts or endless activities. It's about finding peace in simplicity, connecting with nature's rhythms, and discovering that sometimes the most profound experiences come from simply being present in a beautiful place. Legazpi City. Legazpi City in the Bicol region, where the perfect cone of Mayon volcano serves as both a stunning backdrop and a constant reminder of nature's incredible power. Here, in the shadow of one of the world's most beautiful volcanoes, we discover how Filipinos have learned to live in harmony with the Earth's most primal forces. Legazpi City sits in Albay Province on the southeastern tip of Luzon Island, about 300 kilometers southeast of Manila. The city occupies a strategic position along Albay Gulf, with the magnificent Mayon volcano rising 2,462 meters directly behind it. This location has blessed Legazpi with both incredible natural beauty and rich volcanic soil that supports abundant agriculture, though it also means living with the constant awareness of volcanic activity. The culture of Legazpi and the broader Bicol region is deeply influenced by this relationship with Mayon volcano. Local folklore tells of Daragang Magyan, beautiful lady, a princess whose tragic love story is said to have created the volcano's perfect form. Bicolanos have developed a culture of resilience and adaptability, having learned to live with periodic evacuations, ash falls, and the volcano's moods. This has created a people known throughout the Philippines for their warmth, humor, and incredible strength in the face of natural challenges. The development of Legazpi as a major regional center began with Spanish colonization in 1587, when the natural harbor and fertile volcanic soil made it an ideal location for settlement. The city's name honors Miguel López de Legazpi, the Spanish conquistador who established the first permanent Spanish settlement in the Philippines. Throughout centuries of Spanish rule, American occupation, Japanese invasion during World War II, and modern independence, Legazpi has repeatedly rebuilt itself, often literally rising from volcanic ash to become stronger than before. Modern Legazpi developed as the regional capital of Bicol and a major transportation hub, earning recognition as one of the Philippines' most livable cities despite, or perhaps because of its dramatic setting. The city has embraced sustainable tourism that showcases Mayon's beauty while respecting its power. Among Legazpi's famous destinations, Mayon volcano itself dominates everything. Often called the world's most perfect volcanic cone due to its almost symmetrical shape, Mayon is an active stratovolcano that has erupted over 50 times in recorded history. The Cagsawa ruins, remnants of a Baroque church buried during Mayon's devastating 1814 eruption, provide a haunting reminder of the volcano's power, while offering the most iconic view of the perfect cone, framed by ancient stone arches. The Mayon Volcano Natural Park offers multiple ways to experience the volcano's majesty. ATV tour across the volcanic foothills provide thrilling rides through landscapes of hardened lava and emerging vegetation, while hiking trails lead to viewpoints that showcase Mayon's perfect symmetry against the tropical sky. Albay Park and Wildlife, the region's premier eco-attraction, combines adventure activities like ziplining and wall climbing with wildlife conservation, all set against Mayon's dramatic backdrop. The Embarcadero de Legazpi, a waterfront development along Albay Gulf, provides a modern recreational area where families can enjoy the sunset with Mayon volcano silhouetted against the evening sky. Legazpi teaches us about finding beauty in power and learning to dance with forces beyond our control. The relationship between the city and its volcano reminds us that some of life's most spectacular experiences come from embracing both beauty and danger, stability and change. Boracay. Boracay, the small island that became synonymous with tropical paradise and put the Philippines on the global tourism map. This 10-kilometer-long, dumbbell-shaped island in the western Visayas has been called home to the world's best beach so many times that it's almost become a cliché, yet standing on White Beach as the sun sets over the Sulu Sea, you'll understand why this tiny island captured the imagination of travelers worldwide. Boracay sits at the northwestern tip of Panay Island in the province of Aklan, approximately 315 kilometers south of Manila. The island measures just 10.32 square kilometers, small enough to walk across in 30 minutes. Yet within this compact area lies some of the most diverse and beautiful beach experiences on Earth. The island's unique dumbbell shape creates distinct coastlines. The western side features the famous white sand beaches facing spectacular sunsets, while the eastern shore offers more rugged beauty with its coral cliffs and smaller, secluded coves. The culture of Boracay reflects its transformation from a sleepy fishing community of the indigenous Ati people to a world-renowned destination. The Ati, who arrived on the island centuries ago, named it Boracay after the local term for white sand. For generations, they lived simply from fishing and farming, with only a few hundred residents calling the island home. This changed dramatically in the 1970s, when European backpackers discovered Boracay, leading to development that would completely transform the island's character while challenging its ability to preserve its cultural roots. The development of Boracay as a global destination began almost accidentally. In the 1970s, German writer Jens Peters wrote about the island's pristine beauty, attracting the first wave of international backpackers. By the 1980s, budget accommodations began appearing, followed by more upscale resorts in the 1990s. The island's reputation grew exponentially with the internet age, earning recognition from travel magazines worldwide and eventually welcoming over 2 million visitors annually. However, this success came at a cost. By 2018, environmental concerns led to a 6-month closure ordered by President Duterte, who called Boracay a cesspool. The temporary closure allowed for infrastructure improvements, waste management upgrades, and the implementation of stricter environmental regulations, reopening with a renewed commitment to sustainable tourism. Among Boracay's famous destinations, White Beach remains the crown jewel, a 4-kilometer stretch of powdery white sand so fine it squeaks under your feet. The beach is divided into 3 stations, each offering different experiences. Station 1 provides luxury resorts and the finest sand. Station 2 buzzes with restaurants, bars, and water sports activities. Station 3 offers a more budget-friendly, laid-back atmosphere popular with backpackers and young travelers. Puka Beach on the northern tip of the island offers a completely different experience with its coarser sand made from crushed puka shells and its more natural, less developed atmosphere. Here, you can experience something closer to the original Boracay, with fewer crowds and a more rustic charm. The island's famous sunsets create nightly gatherings along White Beach, where fire dancers perform traditional shows as the sky explodes in colors that seem too vibrant to be real. Parasailing, traditional Filipino sailboat excursions, offers the perfect way to experience these sunsets from the water, with the triangular sails silhouetted against the colorful sky. For adventure seekers, Ariel's Point provides cliff diving opportunities, with jumps ranging from 3 to 15 meters into crystal-clear tropical waters, while the island's numerous water sports operators offer everything from kitesurfing to scuba diving among vibrant coral reefs. Boracay's story teaches us about the delicate balance between sharing paradise and preserving it. The island's recent transformation demonstrates that it's possible to maintain world-class tourism while respecting environmental limits, a lesson crucial for destinations worldwide. Sagada. The mystical mountain town of Sagada in the Cordillera Mountains of northern Luzon. Here, at 1,500 meters above sea level, we enter a world where ancient traditions persist, where hanging coffins cling to limestone cliffs, and where the cool mountain air carries stories of indigenous wisdom passed down through countless generations. Sagada sits in Mountain Province, about 275 kilometers northeast of Manila. The town occupies a series of valleys and ridges in the Cordillera Central, surrounded by pine forests that seem more reminiscent of temperate climates than tropical Philippines. The elevation creates a refreshingly cool climate year-round, with temperatures rarely exceeding 26 degrees C and often dropping to 10 degrees C during the coolest months. This unique microclimate supports ecosystems found nowhere else in the Philippines, from pine forests to unique cave systems carved by centuries of underground rivers. The culture of Sagada is inseparably linked to the indigenous Igorot people, particularly the Ibaloi and Kankani tribes who have called these mountains home for over 2,000 years. The name Sagada comes from the Ilocano word sakada, meaning to climb up, reflecting both the town's elevation and the spiritual journey many visitors experience here. The Igorot people developed sophisticated agricultural techniques, including the famous Banor rice terraces, nearby in Ifugao province, created complex spiritual beliefs centered on ancestor worship, and maintained traditions of community cooperation called bayanihan that continue to define mountain culture today. The development of Sagada as a destination for cultural tourism began in the 1960s when anthropologists and adventure travelers started documenting the unique burial practices and cave systems. Unlike mass tourism destinations, Sagada has maintained strict community control over development, with local elders carefully managing how the town shares its sacred traditions with visitors. This approach has preserved Sagada's authenticity while providing sustainable income for the community. Among Sagada's famous destinations, the hanging coffins represent one of the most unique cultural practices in Asia. For over 2,000 years, the people of Sagada have practiced the tradition of placing their deceased in wooden coffins suspended from limestone cliffs. This practice, believed to bring the souls closer to heaven and protect the bodies from floods and animals, creates a profoundly moving sight that speaks to humanity's universal need to honor the dead while acknowledging the spiritual realm. Sumaging Cave System offers one of the Philippines' most spectacular spelunking experiences. This big cave requires visitors to rappel, squeeze through narrow passages, and wade through underground pools, all while surrounded by cathedral-like chambers filled with stunning stalactite and stalagmite formations. The cave system connects to the Lumiang Cave, where century-old coffins create an underground burial chamber that demonstrates the long connection between the Igorot people and these sacred spaces. Quiltepan Viewpoint provides one of the most spectacular sunrise views in the Philippines, where visitors gather before dawn to watch the sun emerge over a sea of clouds that fills the valleys below, with mountain peaks rising like islands in a white ocean. The pine forest, filled with towering pine trees that create a temperate atmosphere unique in tropical Philippines, offers peaceful walking trails where the scent of pine needles and the sound of mountain winds provide respite from the heat and hustle of lowland life. The Bokong Falls, a multi-tiered waterfall cascading down moss-covered rocks, surrounded by lush vegetation, provides a perfect swimming spot where mountain spring water maintains a refreshingly cool temperature year-round. Sagada teaches us that some treasures can't be rushed or commercialized. They must be approached with respect, patience, and genuine desire to understand. The town's success in maintaining its cultural integrity while sharing its gifts with visitors offers a model for sustainable cultural tourism that honors both tradition and progress. Dumaguete City. Dumaguete City, affectionately known as the City of Gentle People and University Town, a charming coastal city on Negros Island that perfectly embodies the Filipino concept of mahinhin, gentle refinement. Here, where the pace of life slows to match the rhythm of the university bells and the gentle lapping of waves along the Rizal Boulevard, we discover a side of the Philippines that captures hearts through quiet charm rather than dramatic spectacle. Dumaguete sits on the southeastern coast of Negros Island, facing the Bohol Strait with magnificent views of Apo Island and Siquijor Island rising from the azure waters. The city serves as the capital of Negros Oriental Province and occupies a strategic position that has made it a center of education, commerce, and culture in the Visayas region. The nearby Cuernos de Negros Mountains provide a dramatic backdrop while creating the fertile plains that have supported sugar cultivation for over a century. The culture of Dumaguete reflects its unique identity as an educational center. Home to Silliman University, the first Protestant university in the Philippines and Asia, Dumaguete has been attracting students, professors, and intellectuals since 1901. This academic atmosphere has created a sophisticated, cosmopolitan culture that values education, arts, and intellectual discourse. The presence of multiple universities has also made Dumaguete remarkably diverse, with students and faculty from across the Philippines and around the world contributing to a vibrant cultural scene. The development of Dumaguete began with its establishment as a Spanish settlement in 1620, though indigenous people had lived in the area for centuries before. The name Dumaguete comes from the Cebuano word dagat, meaning to snatch, referring either to frequent raids by Moro pirates or the area's reputation for attracting visitors who never wanted to leave. The arrival of American Protestant missionaries in 1901 and the establishment of Silliman University transformed Dumaguete from a quiet provincial town into the intellectual center of the Visayas. The city's reputation as the city of gentle people comes from the naturally warm, refined character of its residents, influenced by decades of academic culture and the leisurely pace of coastal living. Unlike the hustle of Manila or the tourist intensity of other destinations, Dumaguete maintains an atmosphere of quiet sophistication that immediately puts visitors at ease. Among Dumaguete's famous destinations, the Rizal Boulevard stands as the heart of the city, a beautiful baywalk stretching 1.2 kilometers along the coast, where locals gather every evening to enjoy the sea breeze, street food, and spectacular sunsets. The boulevard perfectly captures Dumaguete's character, unhurried, community-oriented, and focused on simple pleasures like good conversation and beautiful views. The nearby Apo Island, accessible by a 30-minute boat ride, represents one of the Philippines' greatest marine conservation success stories. This small volcanic island has been protected by a community-based conservation program since the 1980s, creating a marine sanctuary where giant sea turtles nest on black sand beaches and coral reefs teem with tropical fish. Snorkeling or diving at Apo Island offers encounters with sea turtles so close you can see their ancient wisdom in their eyes. Casaroro Falls, about 30 minutes from the city, rewards visitors who make the challenging 335-step descent with a spectacular 100-meter waterfall cascading into a natural swimming pool surrounded by lush tropical vegetation. The hike through tropical forest and the refreshing swim in the natural pool provide the perfect escape from coastal heat. The twin lakes of Balinsasayao and Danao, nestled in the mountains about 20 kilometers from Dumaguete, offer crater lakes surrounded by virgin forest where endemic species thrive in cool mountain air. Kayaking across these mirror-like lakes while surrounded by pristine rainforest provides a profound connection to the Philippines' natural heritage. Dumaguete teaches us that true beauty often lies in subtlety, in the quality of human interactions, in the pleasure of unhurried conversations, and in communities that prioritize education, culture, and gentle living over rapid development or commercial success. Coron, Palawans. Coron in northern Palawan. Here, where the crystal-clear waters hide both pristine coral reefs and sunken Japanese warships from World War II, we discover how history and nature intertwine to create one of the world's premier diving destinations and most breathtaking seascapes. Coron encompasses both the town of Coron on Busuanga Island and the larger Coron Island itself, located in the Calamian group of islands in northern Palawan. This archipelago sits in the South China Sea, approximately 170 nautical miles southwest of Manila. The area features a dramatic landscape of towering limestone karsts, crystal-clear freshwater and saltwater lakes, pristine coral reefs, and some of the most spectacular underwater visibility in Southeast Asia. Culture of Coron is dominated by the indigenous Tagbanua people who have been the stewards of these islands for centuries. The Tagbanua have maintained their traditional lifestyle and spiritual beliefs, including their reverence for Coron Island as a sacred ancestral domain. In 1998, the Tagbanua received one of the Philippines' first certificates of ancestral domain title, giving them legal ownership and management authority over Coron Island and parts of the surrounding waters. This community-based conservation approach has been crucial in preserving the area's pristine natural condition. The historical development of Coron took a dramatic turn during World War II, when these waters became the final resting place for numerous Japanese vessels. On September 24, 1944, American dive bombers attacked a Japanese supply fleet, sinking 12 ships in what is now called Coron Bay. These wrecks, now transformed into artificial reefs teeming with marine life, have become some of the world's most famous dive sites, attracting wreck diving enthusiasts from around the globe. Modern Coron's development as a tourist destination began in the 1990s when the diving community discovered the exceptional visibility and pristine condition of the World War II wrecks. The area's tourism has grown steadily but sustainably, with the Tagbanua people maintaining careful control over access to their ancestral lands and the local government implementing strict environmental protection measures. Among Coron's famous destinations, the underwater wrecks stand as unique monuments to history transformed by nature. The Okikawa Maru, a Japanese supply ship resting in 26 meters of water, has become an underwater garden where soft corals, sponges, and schools of tropical fish have transformed military metal into living art. The Arako, a refrigeration ship, offers one of the most spectacular wreck dives in the world, with its intact structure providing home to barracuda, jacks, and countless reef species. But Coron's appeal extends far beyond its underwater treasures. Kayangan Lake, often called the cleanest lake in the Philippines, requires a challenging 10-minute climb over sharp limestone rock, but rewards visitors with impossibly clear freshwater surrounded by towering karst cliffs. Swimming in Kayangan Lake feels like floating in liquid crystal while surrounded by a natural cathedral of stone. Malcapuya Island showcases one of Palawan's most beautiful beaches, with powder-fine white sand and turquoise waters so clear that boats appear to float in midair. The island offers the perfect tropical paradise experience with minimal development and maximum natural beauty. Coron Island itself, sacred to the Tagbanua people, can only be visited with special permission and local guides, but offers hidden lagoons, secret beaches, and pristine coral reefs that represent some of the Philippines' most untouched marine environments. Coron teaches us how tragedy can be transformed into beauty, how indigenous wisdom can guide conservation, and how some of the world's most spectacular destinations are those where history, culture, and nature intersect under the protection of communities who understand their sacred responsibility as stewards. Siquijor. Siquijor, a place where ancient healing traditions thrive, where fireflies dance in enchanted forests, and where the boundary between the natural and supernatural feels beautifully thin. Long shrouded in myths about witchcraft and magic, Siquijor has emerged as one of the Philippines' most authentic and spiritually enriching destinations. Siquijor is the smallest province in the Philippines, covering just 343.5 square kilometers in the Bohol Sea. This nearly circular island sits about 17 kilometers east of Dumaguete, forming part of the Central Visayas region. Despite its small size, Siquijor boasts remarkable geographical diversity: white sand beaches on the western coast, rugged cliffs on the eastern shores, mystical century-old balit trees in the interior, and natural springs that locals believe possess healing properties. The culture of Siquijor is deeply rooted in pre-colonial spiritual traditions that survived centuries of Spanish colonization and modern influence. The island's reputation for mysticism comes from its long tradition of folk healers, known locally as mananambal or arbulario, who use medicinal plants, prayer, and ancient rituals to treat both physical and spiritual ailments. The historical development of Siquijor began with early Austronesian settlers who established communities along the coast while maintaining deep spiritual connections to the island's natural features. Spanish colonizers named the island Isla del Fuego, Island of Fire, because of the eerie glow created by swarms of fireflies in the molive trees, a phenomenon that contributed to the island's mystical reputation. Among Siquijor's famous destinations, the century-old balit tree stands as the island's most iconic natural landmark. This massive tree, estimated to be over 400 years old, creates a natural cathedral with its enormous spreading branches and aerial roots. A natural spring flows at the base of the tree, where locals believe the water has healing properties. Fish spa treatments using the spring's small fish provide a unique pedicure experience, but the true magic lies in simply sitting quietly under this ancient giant and feeling connected to centuries of spiritual tradition. Cambugahe Falls, a series of multi-tiered waterfalls cascading through lush tropical forest, offers some of the Philippines' most pristine swimming holes. The falls feature natural infinity pools where turquoise water flows over smooth limestone, creating perfect swimming spots surrounded by virgin jungle. Rope swings hanging over the deeper pools add an element of adventure to this natural paradise. Salagdung Beach showcases Siquijor's natural beauty with its pristine white sand beach and crystal-clear waters perfect for swimming and snorkeling. The beach features dramatic cliff formations where the more adventurous can try cliff jumping into the deep blue sea below, while families can enjoy the calm, protected swimming areas. Kangaisok House, a heritage house built in the 1800s, represents one of the Philippines' best-preserved examples of colonial architecture. This ancestral home, still inhabited by descendants of the original family, offers guided tours that provide insights into colonial-era Filipino lifestyle and the island's historical development. The Maria Tubod Mariano Jesus Nazareno Church, built in 1783, stands as Siquijor's oldest stone church and represents the successful blending of Catholic and indigenous spiritual traditions that characterizes much of Philippine religious culture. Siquijor teaches us that there are dimensions to healing and spirituality that modern medicine and rationalist thinking haven't fully explored. The island reminds us that mystery and magic can coexist with natural beauty and genuine hospitality, creating destinations that heal not just the body, but the soul. As our virtual journey through these 10 incredible destinations comes to an end, let's take a moment to reflect on what we've discovered together. From the limestone cathedrals of El Nido to the mystical healing springs of Siquijor, from the historical crossroads of Manila to the perfect volcanic cone of Mayon, we've witnessed a country that offers not just spectacular natural beauty, but profound lessons about resilience, hospitality, and living in harmony with both nature and tradition. What strikes me most about the Philippines is how each destination teaches us something different about what it means to be human. El Nido shows us the importance of protecting paradise for future generations. Manila demonstrates how cities can honor their past while embracing their future. Cebu reminds us that cultural identity is shaped by both conquest and resistance. Siargao teaches us that sometimes the most profound experiences come from simplicity and connection with natural rhythms. And here's my final thought-provoking question for you. In a world that's becoming increasingly connected, yet somehow more divided, what role can travel play in building bridges of understanding between cultures? How might your journey to the Philippines not just enrich your own life, but contribute to greater global understanding and appreciation for the incredible diversity of human experience? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Share your own travel stories, ask questions about these destinations, or tell us which location captured your imagination most powerfully. Your engagement helps build a community of thoughtful travelers who understand that exploration is about much more than just seeing new places. Remember to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our upcoming adventures as we explore more of the world's most incredible destinations. We are constantly discovering new places and meeting fascinating people who remind us why travel remains one of humanity's most enriching experiences.